the space where we take a deep dive into working on a life of becoming more healthy physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I'm David Rosenfeld, one of your co hosts, along with Alicia Limbo. We together are The Purpose Effect, creating a community and lifestyle of becoming better forms of ourselves. We are in the holidays. Christmas was actually yesterday. I'm late. I'm supposed to be on Wednesdays. This is Friday morning. We had some severe weather. We had some damage. Had some bees getting knocked over in colonies to deal with. Kind of emotional stuff for me. I take my responsibility for this livestock, which is basically what these bees are. I've taken this on, and it's one of my responsibilities. So I was caring for some of these other things. And then yesterday we spent a little bit of time with family doing Christmas stuff. And I would like to talk about that. So some of us have a lot of negativity inside of us around Christmas or holidays in general. I know in my youth, growing up, my mother had terrible habits about holidays. She was either manic, doing crazy stuff, making herself sick, or she was depressed because she couldn't do the crazy stuff that she wanted to do. So there's a lot of negativity around that. My first wife and I had different habits. They still came out kind of negative with me because there was always anxiety and family drama and sister-in-law and this and that. So, here we come, and I'm trying to live this life of purpose. I'm trying to model to you guys out there different habits and changes and being a better form of myself. And this week was a struggle. Very emotional for me having things happen here on the property. I've worked really hard to have things a certain way, and when they don't go the way I'm thinking they should go, I get pretty tough on myself, which is then hard on, Amanda and everybody around. So what can I do for myself to make new habits? And one of the things that's happened over the past few days is, as I was really thinking about stuff, Amanda and I talked, and we are going to change some things for what we do in our household. We have agreed that Christmas is no longer going to be about gifting, right? The thing that we're going to be giving each other during this season is of ourselves, our time, our doing things together, going places together, participating and seeing our family and friends together. So for us, we've decided that next year we should be done with all of our remodeling, and we're going to do lighting and decorating and all of the fun stuff and create that tradition in our household, while leaving the portion of it that creates anxiety behind, right? So it's hard to figure out, how do I get everybody what they want? How do I keep everybody satisfied? And how do I not feel taken advantage of? Or, I gave them something worth $10 and they gave me, oh my gosh, knock it off. The reason for the season is about, God sending Christ down here to give us an opportunity to do things differently. Prior to the sacrifice that God made by sending his son down here to take care of us, we were kind of hopeless, right? You didn't have a chance. God gave us a chance by sending his son down here in human form and having him these experiences and stuff. So now that we have this, and we know that that's what the season's really about, why do we do all this other stuff? Well, it's become what people call, a Hallmark holiday. It's about the card, it's about the ugly sweater, it's about the I got more, I gave more, all the wrong things. If you look at the timing, it's the darkest time of the year, right? These are the shortest days. And while we are experiencing these shortest days, having, the hope and looking forward to light, right? So instead of me having a cloud of darkness over holidays, I'm going to try and figure out a way to find that light inside of me that I'm always talking about and learn to shine it on my family during the holidays, because it's not fair for me to drag my past into my future to the people I care about. Amanda didn't earn any of that, and she's the one who has to deal with it if I continue that behavior. So in recognizing in myself that this is something I need to alter, now I can change it, right? If you don't know that you need to make something different, you've absolutely no reason to make it different, so you're fine, right? It's all good. I'm constantly saying the same thing. If we're a 0.5% better of some aspect of our lives every day, in 200 days we're 100% better, even though my math has been corrected. Nod to Sean if you're out here listening today. So in my commitment to work that goal in my daily life, in situations that I know have been more difficult, I think it's more important to give myself space, to take the time that I need so that when I am in these situations, I can be present, right? I'm not waiting for the next negativity. I'm sitting with one of my nieces and being there, listening, talking, sharing thoughts, understanding where these young people, their thoughts are coming from and how they're approaching things. That's what this season is about. It's about taking these shortest, darker days and adding something to them that's light. And for me, visiting with Hannah and Haley, my niece's daughter, so they would be, I guess, my grandnieces, it's really enlightening because I get to be exposed to the point of view of two young women who are college age, going to college out of state, living the life, doing all these things. And I can stop and listen, right? And be present and learn and let them bring some of their light to me, and then I can try and bring some of the light that I'm trying to find inside of me to them. And this exchange and interaction is the value of Christmas, not the jeans that I got, right? Jeans are cool. I can buy jeans. They're utilitarian. They're not a thing. But the gift of presence, right? The gift of being there and giving you my attention, my real attention, not thinking about what my next question is so I look cool while you're answering the question I just asked. I see a lot of people do that. I talk to a lot of people who do that. They're so busy formulating their questions so that they can be interesting that they're not interesting because they don't have any of the answers, because they don't listen. So when you're being present and you're bringing the light of yourself, right? You're sharing the thing that you have that is the most unique, yourself. When we're sharing of ourself as we're processing this learning thing, we hopefully have made good choices or better choices. The people who are in our circle are going to notice. They're going to approve, right? Because better is good. But here's where it gets special. As we're sitting around sharing and we're talking about a life of purpose, and I look over and my nephew is nodding his head and contemplating as I'm sharing what my vision and what Alicia's vision is, what we're doing here. And now I've got someone in my family, someone close to me, not just podcast land, but someone who I love and have, this long-standing relationship with. Now he's thinking about what I'm doing. And if he thinks about it and sees the value in it that I see, now I'm sharing in a way that's going to make my world brighter and lighter. And also his world brighter and lighter. And all the rest of us in the room are illuminated by this sharing of energy, and the light of the energy that we create while we're working on this task of being better, more healthy in our physical self. Not having that extra whatever that I passed on. I'm proud of myself. I did really well this season. I've not put on any weight at all. I have enjoyed some good treats without overindulging. I feel great about that portion of the holidays. I did much better. Emotionally, do we got to grade David emotionally through Thanksgiving to today? Gosh, I guess I passed. I'd give myself a C. Maybe. But that's okay, because in the past, I'd always gotten a D. Sometimes I've had Fs. Better is good, right? Next year, I will try to create a plan. I will communicate better with my wife. And together, we will create good habits and traditions, because that's something that we want, right? When you want change, you can make it happen. But you can't do it unconsciously. You're never going to be able to change if you're coasting, because it's okay. Hey, I got through the holidays. I managed. I want more than that. I want to come through the holidays and have my light be brightened by the thing that's important in the holidays. The opportunity to go down and give my brother a hug instead of just talking to him on the phone. I cherish the phone conversations, but that hug, that's valuable. That fills your light. The being in the proximity of your people. There's nothing that brings your inner light up than a positive interaction with your people. And nothing that will extinguish that light faster than negativity with your people. Bad feelings with your children, bad feelings with your siblings, bad feelings with your parents. All of these things are how we end up with the bad habits that I started talking about at the beginning of this. Because of the hard feelings, because of the weird relationships, I had this negativity surrounding the holidays that I'm actively working on changing. So what do? Best you can. Better than last year. Better is good. So now we've identified some things for this, but this podcast is not about sitting here talking about history, because yesterday's history, right? Already over. Not much we can do with that. But today, I can move forward. I can look at the positive parts of it. I can bask a little bit in the pleasure that I have from getting to see my family yesterday. Moving forward with some more light, right? That's what I want to see these holidays turn into for all of us. A place where we charge our batteries and come out brighter. You know, so many of us have fallen into habit where these holidays are draining and exhausting and overwhelming. Wrong way, folks. You're missing the boat. You know, the idea here is better, not just managed. Anybody can just manage, but what is this existence about? Is it about being the same? We're missing the boat. You gotta want more. God wants more for us. It's all provided. You always look back and you see you weren't alone. It's not always easy to see when you're in the midst of the situation going through it. It's really easy to feel alone. But what does that mean, right? It's a perception. So back to all of the same stuff that we talk about every single one of these shows every week. Perspective. So if you're living your life in your purpose, you add in intent of growth and light. You multiply that whole equation by changing your perspective, and all of a sudden, there's something very powerful taking place. It's not an accident. You have to have the intent. When, as Alicia likes to say, when we're leaning into our God-given purpose, nobody said it was easy. I don't think that was never part of the description. Sometimes it's really frightening to have to trust that God will be there for us. I have doubted so much of that. But that little tickle inside of you, that thought in the back of your mind, that time when the hair on the back of your neck sticks up, that is God talking to you, folks. Your inner intuition is God trying to communicate to you to not put yourself in risky situations. You have all of these tools at your disposal. What do you do with them? Some of us waste them endlessly, and they just become rusty in a box and unused. Hopefully, since you're here listening to this, you're with us on this journey where we're going to take all of these tools out and we're going to work every single one of them to maximum effectiveness. And we're going to grow and we're going to learn. And then here's where it gets both confusing and exciting. The more we grow and learn, the more we are going to understand we have to grow and learn. It doesn't top out. I once had somebody say, if I'm 0.5% better of myself, Once I'm 100% better, well, and I'm done, I don't need to be any better than that. Wow. Let's step back and think about that for a minute, folks. I am blessed. I have a couple of mentors in my life, gentlemen through my Masonic life. And these are some pretty darn good dudes. I mean, on the scale of good dudes, I'm pretty low on the totem pole compared to some of the mentors I've been blessed with. And if you sit down and you talk with these gentlemen, they will be the first ones to tell you how much they need to learn, how much they could work on being better forms of themselves. And these are righteous guys. You know, they may not run around and tell everybody how cool they are or wear the proper attire to be identified as this or that or whatever. But these are good guys. These are men who go out into their own communities and the communities around them and do good stuff, right? They share of themselves and they do things to benefit the world and someone other than themselves. And they'll be the first ones to sit down with me and say, oh, we could all be better, David. So as you learn what that is, as you are better, you also become conscious of the fact that there is more of that to be had, right? So if I'm better at this situation this time, next time I can still learn more and be better. Every situation will give you the opportunity to be better if you use it. It's got to be worked on, right? We don't live this life by being complacent or floating, right? It doesn't go that way. If you want to be a purpose-filled person and live a life of purpose, as Alicia and I are trying to model out here, it requires being uncomfortable and leaning into that discomfort, trusting that God is not ever going to abandon you, and putting yourself continually in situations to do better. You don't hide from any of this. You don't step away from it. You step into it. You grab it by the ears and you confront the situation with the knowledge that you are valuable. You are important. You are wonderful in your own unique way. Each of us are here for a purpose. God doesn't make mistakes. That was kind of how this whole thing between Alicia and I started, was her sharing some of that. So as I come to the end of this time that we're going to spend together for this episode, I would like to kind of bring it down into something that I think is the most important message of this. And that, my friends, is that we have a choice. Each of us as individuals have a choice to work on our perspective. I didn't say we have a choice to have a good perspective, because that's difficult, but we can all work on our perspective. We can all try to be better forms of ourselves. We can all try to feed our physical health in a healthy fashion and take care of ourselves with moving our bodies and doing the things that we know we're supposed to do. We can nourish our emotional health by trusting the people who we cherish to be who they are, and knowing that that's not going to go away, because we have good, solid relationships. And feeding ourselves spiritually is so important, because when you lose that, then the real meaning of what we're here for is gone. So this week, I would like for our purpose to change a little bit. I've been kind of stuck on present for a long time, it feels like. And now I would like for us to, going into the new year, I would like our purpose to be to bring a little bit of light to the situations we find ourselves in. Be that better side, be the optimism, be the, hey, let's have the healthy choice, be the light. I'm David Rosenfeld. My co-host is Alicia Limbo. Together, we are the Purpose Effect. Please join the journey. Come with us. If you find value in this, please subscribe, like, and share with your friends. Together, we can change the world.